Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe. If you do like what you're listening to, please inform your friends and family and spread it all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works. Because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that everything is planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book. Also, those who have donated to the Cash App Patreon, much love. Keep it coming. And then also those who are shopping at the store, much love, keep it coming. Now, guys, of course, we're going to get into Bitcoin and cryptos first. And guys, we made a strong move over the past 2 days. But the fact is that we see XRP did not make that strong move. After it went up that 8%, it settled down and looks like it's going to be moving down a little. So we know that we're not going to go any further unless XRP makes that move. And of course, make sure we're staying focused on the fundamentals, guys. And what is that? XRP, Tether, and volume. So the fact is that XRP is going to let us know which direction we're going. Tether is going to let us know how far we're going down or how far we're going up. So remember, the closest get to that 99.9, that means we're going up. If it's above that 99.9, that means we're going down unless they're actually getting pumped. Now, we have seen Tether constantly get pumped $100 to $200 million like every 2 weeks. But, guys, make sure you are focused on the actual fundamentals. Now, we know we have back coming. So back, what did they say? They were breaking records. Even though we know they say that they are physical. But the fact is, every time back comes, we dump. So, guys, we know we're going to take that leg lower. On the 15th, that's when it is. Now, what is the only thing that can stop us from not dumping is that stimulus package. That stimulus package is very, very important. Now, we know that the Fed is printing checks every single Tuesday. So we know the stock market, that's for the stock market to maintain it. That's our liquidity to maintain where we're at. But the fact is that stimulus is going to mark that bull market. And that's what I want to go into today, that's going to tell us and give us that signal. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to 2017. Now, what marked the bull signal? It was actually Ripple and XRP. Now, Ripple rolls out the $300 million Ripple Net Accelerator program to grow volume and XRP utility. Now, guys, the fact is that we know Tether, of course, was the cause of us, of course, moving up. But that signal was XRP. And, of course, I've been on every single bull run. When we made the little run to 13.9, almost 14, XRP signaled that. I did a video on that. Basically, XRP, of course, I went over tons of time, is the signal. Now, what do they announce this month? October 8th, they announced that basically they're going to be doing a funding of an instant cross-border payment with the line of credit with RippleNet, of course, using XRP. And I did a video the other day on Miguel Villas saying that this was coming down the pipe. So these big banks, corporations now can use XRP up front, and then on top of that, just pay a small fee. Now, of course, that is going to raise the price of XRP. Just like we saw when MoneyGram was using it. MoneyGram basically was getting paid to use XRP, but the fact is that helped XRP price get to that $3. So yes, it was all basically inflated speculation. But guys, that's the market that we're in right now. What is the Fed doing? Raising the stock market with what? Fake money. It's the same process, no difference. And we know what? Ripple is nothing but an extension of the central bank. And with crypto, guys, that's all we work off is speculation. Why didn't we have a bull run basically with Bitcoin? Because of altcoins. Why haven't we received a big bull run for Bitcoin and altcoins? Because of DeFi. So now you see what? Non-fungible tokens. Now that's coming in as the big thing. So guys, it's nothing but the Fed working with numbers, laundering money. That's all this comes down to. If you're printing $500 billion a day, you have to put this money somewhere. Anywhere, somewhere. And that's all this is about, guys. You got to think of the big picture. Remember, the New World Order works in steps. We know what the goal is. Once we get the stimulus package, that's going to run us to March. March, of course, they'll have the digital wallets already set up to attach the masses' bank accounts. And then, of course, in September, then we'll be looking at what? Universal basic income. We'll definitely see that being revved up in the actual media. Now, guys, that's all I have for you. I'm going to leave a video of Milton Friedman talking about inflation. Now, guys, this holds true only when you're in a system of fundamentals. Now, all the fundamentals are out the window. Now we have algorithms that are actually controlling the stock market. So the fact is that basically we're going to see hyper deflation when universal basic income comes in. And now you can clearly see it. Yes, we are going to have a period of inflation, maybe a few more months. But then, guys, you have to remember, once they take humanity out the picture, and that's what the fourth industrial revolution is about, where all the robots, the AI, automation comes in to replace the human worker. And that's what Milton Friedman at his time did not see. Now, guys, don't forget about the books, Cryptoteacher NWO book. Also, if you're new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance, I have the links at the bottom. Also, your stocks. Don't forget about the Cryptoteacher stock channel, guys. You have your Cobalt, your chip stocks, your gaming, your banking. Everybody's sitting at home. Don't forget about the at-home stocks. The C word, the biotech stocks, guys. Don't forget about those. And while everybody's sitting at home getting free money or waiting on that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and y'all have a wonderful day.
In the post-war world, after World War II, every country in the West has had a full employment policy, which means not that we've had full employment. On the contrary, as you know, we've been having increasing unemployment in recent years. But that every time, for quite a period, there was a threat of unemployment or unemployment started to rise. There was a strong tendency by government to say, we've got to do something about this. We have to print more money. We have to spend more money. We have to stimulate the economy. The result of which has been to create an increased quantity of money that in the first instance has had some favorable effects on employment, but only temporarily, only so long as you could fool the people. And then, when people got on to what was going on, it came out in the form of inflation. In the United States, we've also had, and in most countries, a third, less important factor that has contributed to excessive increases in the quantity of money. And that has been mistaken policies by the central bank. Professor Segan referred to the mistake of the Federal Reserve Bank in the late 20s, early 30s. From 1929 to 1933, the quantity of money in the United States went down by a third. And that was a major factor that produced the catastrophe. That was a great mistake of the Federal Reserve. It learned from that mistake. Government agencies, like people, don't always make the same mistake the next time. They make a different one. And since that period, the central banks have tended to make the mistake in the opposite direction. Their mistake has almost always been caused by confusing their function, by thinking that they had something to do with interest rates, instead of recognizing that their real function was to control the quantity of money. What about international influences? The government is particularly fond of citing this to say, oh, well, you mustn't blame us for inflation. We've imported it from abroad. There's a worldwide inflation, and how can you expect the United States to stay clear of inflation if all the rest of the countries of the world are inflating? Now, that was a valid explanation before 1971, when we had a worldwide system of fixed exchange rates. In that case, it is true that inflation in one country would tend to spill over into another because it would influence the quantity of money. In that case, it was inflation in America that produced in the United States that produced inflation in many countries around the world, because their currencies were linked through a fixed exchange rate with ours. But today, that explanation is not valid. As long as countries have variable, floating, flexible exchange rates between their currencies, inflation is a national phenomenon and not an international phenomenon. And the proof of that is very simple. If inflation is a worldwide phenomenon, inflation is a worldwide phenomenon, but it's not an international phenomenon. You know, in every country of the world you have too high taxes. But high taxation is not an international phenomenon. It's just that all the nations of the world do it at the same time. In the same way, you have inflation in many countries. But if it were an international phenomenon, how come it's roughly 0 to 1% in Switzerland, 4 to 5 or 6% in Germany, 10% in France, 18% in Great Britain, maybe higher than that in Italy, and so on down the line? No, inflation is a national phenomenon produced by monetary policy and other policies within the countries. Now, so much for the cause of inflation. It's very easy to say what the cure is. There's no problem how to stop inflation. That's the easiest thing in the world to say. In order to stop inflation, you have to have the government spend less and print less. That's the only way you're going to stop inflation. That's the one and only cure.